Matrixx and Rhodes show fans, we are back with another video, and we're going to be talking about the Eternals. This is absolutely hilarious, folks. I've done several videos on the Eternals, and we did a video on the Middle Eastern nations banning the movie because of sexual nature scenes, and there's actually a gay kiss in the movie as well. We covered that, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious, that Disney is going to take an L on this from the Middle Eastern countries. Now, if this was the United States, we already know what would have happened. Disney, the MCU, these actors in the movie, they would have been crushing the fans here in this country. They would have done it. They would have called them homophobes and all these other names that these people in Hollywood like to say. But when it comes to these Middle Eastern countries, they have nothing to say. Nothing to say whatsoever. Now, in defense of Angelina Jolie, I covered this too. She did say something about it. She did. But when it comes down to it at the end of the day, this movie's not performing very well at the box office. It's just not. It is also the lowest rated MCU movie by the critics on Rotten Tomatoes. It is getting crushed. And there's a bunch of controversy behind the actual fan rating over there. It kind of had like a Rise of Skywalker moment when it was stuck at 86% and it didn't move. Another story. I digress. But Disney is probably going to end up losing a whole bunch of money on this movie. It's possible this movie may not even make a profit now. Okay. But since they were so focused on identity politics and they don't have the Middle East, they got desperate. But first, let's back up here a little bit. Now, one of the actors that actually has, he's a gay superhero, and I believe he's the one that actually does the kiss in the movie. Check this out. This is from 3 days ago here. Disney response to Eternals ban brought star Hans Zillman, I guess that's the way you pronounce his name, who plays their openly gay hero, close to tears. He was almost in tears. Hans Zillman says he was so close to tears when he learned of Disney's response to the Eternals being banned in several Middle Eastern countries because of the MCU's film's LGBTQ elemental P content. Quote, they stood their ground and said, nope, we are not going to compromise the integrity of our film, Sliman told a Variety. It made those Arab countries look so ignorant and pathetic. Variety confirmed Thursday that the film has been banned in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar ahead of its release across the Gulf nation on November 11th. Movies containing LGBTQ elemental P content are often cut to appease international censors around the world, but Disney refused to alter the Eternals. Oh boy, guys, when it comes down to it today, it's all about virtue. This whole movie is a virtue signal. Okay? That's all it is. It is to pander to people who are really not, comic book fans. Kevin Feige, I don't know what he was thinking. This phase of the MCU not going too well for the once powerful MCU. Just not. Because now, folks, check this out. Disney now is bending the knee to these Gulf nations. Check this out. Disney removes Eternals set scenes in international markets. The age of the Eternals is here. The Chloe Zhao directed MCU epic just hit theaters and has the world talking about it for better or for worse. The film has received a largely lackluster critical response. We already talked about that. Becoming Marvel Studios' lowest ranked movie on Rotten Tomatoes. Absolutely. But let's get into this here. The guts of it. Eternals gets censored. According to Deadline, an edited version of Eternals will release in various Middle Eastern markets like Egypt, Lebanon, Jordan, and the UAE. This censored cut will remove any instances of intimacy, whether they be hetero or gay. This is common practice in those markets. But you see, if this was the United States, they'd be calling you names. They would be calling you bigots, homophobes, all type of names. But when it comes to these countries right here, they told the MCU, no, we're not going to play your movie. What does the MCU do? Okay, we'll take this stuff out. We'll take it out because we don't We don't want to hurt your feelings. But if this was the United States, there would be massive backlash. They would be calling you all kind of names. See, Disney and the MCU, they're hypocrites. Absolute hypocrites. They know that these countries aren't going for it, and they're not going to tell them to shut up and play the movie. They're not going to do it. So they will bend the knee. Remember that, guys. Remember that going forward. Next time they call you guys names because you didn't want to see this or that in the movie. You didn't like that they started doing all race and gender swap. Remember that next time. Remember that next time. Say, what about the Gulf nations? You edited the movie to please them. But when we criticize the movie, oh, we're all kind of bigots and homophobes and et cetera, et cetera. See the hypocrisy in that, folks? But I'm not surprised. I'm absolutely not surprised. This is what these woke people in Hollywood have been doing for the longest time. The longest time. They do this with China too. We still don't know if this movie is going to be released in China. I highly doubt it unless it is really, really edited down to get rid of the intimacy, especially, the gay character with the kiss and the family. They're probably going to have to really edit that scene because China absolutely does not go for that. They do not do that. They will ban the movie quick, fast, and in a hurry. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Matrixx and Rhodes show fans, the MCU exposed as hypocrites yet again. This is not a surprise. Not a surprise whatsoever. Hollywood has been doing this for the longest time. They will edit movies for certain nations, but if U.S. fans criticize the movie, then it's a problem with the fan base. They call it review bombing and all this other stuff. Completely and utterly ridiculous. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the Matrixx and Rhodes Show, and we'll catch you next time.